All right, let's just turn to this clip. This I found rather amazing. We are now in an era where people are coming back to work um, to some extent. We still have a lot of things that hold people back in terms of babysitters and scheduling and whatnot. But people are coming back to work um, based upon the numbers that we saw last month in terms of new employment figures. But the other dynamic that's happening right now is that people have used this past year to reevaluate what's important to them in their lives. There's a lot of people who are saying, I'm not going back for that low wage job. That was dead end. I'm just not going to do it. I've maybe found other ideas on how I can make money. Maybe I can find a different job. Maybe it's just not worth it for me to eke out the arbitrage between the childcare and the job. Maybe I'll go without certain things because I want to stay home with the kids. Whatever it is, people are saying I don't want to live in that rat race. Maybe I don't want to live in the city. Too tough. Rather go live in a suburban or rural area because I'm not going to make as much money, but I'm not going to have to work as hard. There's a lot of
Or
people
I'm not going to have to pay as much in rent.
Or I'm not going to have to pay as much in rent. Exactly. And the cost of living is lower. I mean, there's a whole raft of things that people are reevaluating about their lives right now, which makes sense, total sense. And that is highly problematic for people who rely on all these people to come in and be worker bees. And here's Donny Deutsch, guy who made his bones in this world by starting out working on a railroad where he would actually hammer in the nails, the spikes into the railroad track. Oh, wait a second.
And then at night he would shovel coal, right? That's what I heard. I mean, he didn't sleep.
Let's listen to Donny Deutsch.
What I see and what I feel is there's something changed in the American psyche of what I'll call just kind of the work ethic. And it's not just the $300 check. I think post-pandemic, people got used to staying at home. CNBC had a thing that they called the Great Resignation that I think there's something like statistically 92% of Americans said they're either considering change jobs or leave their jobs. And I think that we've gotten a little soft in the pandemic. I love that James Gorman, the head of Morgan Stanley, said to his workers, I'm not going to give you the option. This is a separate issue about people not having jobs. This is about people going back to work. I'm not going to give you the option of coming back to work. If you feel okay going to a New York City restaurant, you can go back to work. And I'm one of these believers of this new soft attitude of, work from home, flexibility or whatnot. There's something about people going back to work that has to happen. And if I was still running a company today, I would say, guess what? You're coming back to work. So there's two problems. So there are people who don't want to work. And there's the people who don't want to go back physically to work. And we've softened in the pandemic, and that's a concern to me.
If he was still running a company, maybe, he wouldn't be so soft himself, right? If he's lecturing everybody else on coming back to work, where's he? He seems to be zooming from home. I don't know. Or maybe that powder blue wall is
pretty
his
hard Scrabble. Pretty hard Scrabble background that he has there. Just to be clear, Donny Deutsch joined his dad's advertising firm in 1983. 6 years later, because of how hard he worked, probably, his dad gave him full control of the agency. And then 21 years later, he sold the company for $265 million. I have no doubt that he worked very, very hard during that time as, having his own advertising agency. And in 20 years, he gets to retire or do whatever he wants. Whatever he wants. In other words, nobody's dictating to him that he has to go into work. If he goes into work, it's because he wants to. No one's dictating anything to him. And he sits there. I don't know why he's not in the studio at MSNBC there, but he sits in his $2 million, $3 million. Who knows how nice that apartment he is in, or maybe he's in a hotel. I have no idea. But the idea that these people are praising Goldman Sachs and anybody else for sort of, cracking the whip, the idea that we define in our society as going soft, the idea that you know what? Quality of life is more important to me than going in and joining this rat race. That
And didn't
is
Goldman Sachs just come out and it was leaked, an internal document that their analysts, 80% of them, something like that, have mental health issues given the treatment at that company? Like, I mean, there's really no connection between productivity and coming into work and working hard, as he says,
well,
or driving them. I mean, but like it's all about just exercising control, not
there may
actually
be.
creating. Yeah.
I'm not convinced. Well, and I think it was Morgan Stanley, maybe he said, but either way, I'm sure that that working in that environment is not healthy. And I don't know that it isn't more productive to come into work or stay at home. But what is really the point, and you're making this point, is that this is about control. Rather than letting the workers dictate the way that they want to lead their lives, he's saying something's got to happen to regain that control. And I don't know what he's got in mind, but let's hope that it doesn't. Let's hope that people can fashion a life for themselves, a life for themselves that they think is more pleasant. Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.